By the end of today, with any luck, you'll be able to answer this question: how the heck do you divide polynomials? The division is, we're going to use a process called long division.
Oh, God, this crap again.
No matter how much you want to whine about it, it's really the only way to do it.
There's also calculus.
Not when there's variables. Okay.
For a long time.
Okay, we're going to use a process called long division. You may have not seen this since like 4th grade. I want to try to help you recall the long division process. You may recall the long division process. Looks something like this. If I need to divide, say, how about 128 by 4. I want to divide 128 by 4, so I write 128, I put this division symbol, and then a 4 up the side, and I say, does 4 go into 1? No. Does 4 go into 12? Yes, it goes into 12 3 times. So then I take 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract them and get a number. What's 12 minus 12?
0.
Then I brought down the next number. Does 4 go into 8? How many times? So I write a 2 on top. What's 2 times 4? What's 8 minus 8?
0.
There's no more numbers to bring down. This says this 4 goes to 128 32 times with a remainder of 0.
So there's no decimals.
Okay. So there's no decimal in this case.
This is a reason I failed 6th
Okay.
grade.
Well, hopefully it's going to help you pass 9th grade.
1 second, can I?
Not Excel.
We are going to use this same idea, the same principle, but this time with variables. And I think, in my humble opinion, I think that with variables it's actually easier because it's easier to keep track of and organize yourself because the variables will do that for you. But the process itself is the same. Okay. Yes. So the answer in that case was 32. Okay. Let's try it.
Dad, you're funny.
The process is going to be the same, and the setup is also the same. So I have this polynomial, and I'm going to divide it by 3x. So the first thing, what's being divided, goes underneath of our division bar. 6x to the third minus 12x squared plus 9x. What I'm dividing by goes in front.
Yeah.
So, the questions we asked up here in the example with numbers are the same things you're going to ask yourself when there's variables. So, what times 3x gives us this first term?
2.
Okay, we need a 2 and what else? An x squared. I'm going to write that above the x squared. Why do you think I'm doing that? I'm going to organize myself on top. Do you have to do this? No. Will this keep you much more organized and maybe a better shot of getting the answer correct so you don't make like little minor errors that you didn't want to make? Yeah. Okay, so in order to get what's going to be underneath, because that's what we had to get a number underneath when we used numbers, up here we took the first number, we took what we wrote, and multiply it by what's in front. So we'll do the same thing. What's 2 times x squared times this thing in front? Okay, so we'll write that below. We'll take what's on top and multiply by what's in front. Then what do we do over here with the number case? Nope, before that. So we'll subtract here. And what's 6x to the third minus 6x to the third? Okay. So now what should we do?
Bring down the rat.
Bring it down. Okay. Once you've brought it down, we start the problem over again.
What about the 9x?
we'll work one term at a time. Just like up here, just like in the number case, it will try the first term. Since 0 is here, 4 doesn't go into 0, so we brought a number down. Then we'll check to see if this 4 goes in. We check to see if 4 goes into the next number. We'll do the same thing. We'll check to see if 3x goes into what we brought down. Okay. So what times 3x is negative 12x squared? Positive 4x? Shh. What's negative 4x times 3x?
0.
Subtract them.
Wait, no,
I
that's
can't
negative.
handle this.
What's negative 12x squared minus negative 12x squared?
Wouldn't it be
Well, it's already negative, so when you
Yeah.
Sure, you could minus a negative plus a positive. What's negative 12x squared plus 12x squared?
0.
Still 0. Okay, so we still have another term, so we bring it down. What times 3x is 9x?
Let me get 3.
Okay, what's 3 times 3x?
3.
What's 9x minus 9x?
Oh, 9.
Is there anything else to bring down? So then our answer is 2x squared minus 4x plus 3 with a remainder of
0.
0. Okay.
Alright, so you want to do the rest of it?
Let's try the next one together, and we'll see if we want to make up another example just for extra practice. Last hour did. But let's try this. Do you think, does this process seem like something you want to try on your own yet, or do you want me to do one more with you? Okay, let's try one more. Okay,
Whoa, bless you.
we're going to do them. We will do them all. Don't worry.
Divide by
But
x plus 3.
No. Ow.
Alright, so we'll set it up just the same way. We'll take the first group and put it underneath. We'll take the second group while we're dividing by and put it in front. So then we'll say, what times 4y is the first group? We need a y to the third, and we need a 3. And 4y times 3y to the third is exactly 12y to the fourth. Subtract them, and we should get 0.
I just like crossing off.
Sure. I don't care. I wouldn't. I recommend subtracting them because it's gonna play a little bit more when we get to the next one. Okay, so we bring down. Start over. What times 4y is now this group?
Negative
4.
4.
Negative.
4.
Who negative? Why are we doing
This is the way you have to do it.
Should be negative 4y squared. Y times y squared is y to the third. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16.
Seriously, it's Chinese. Oh my gosh.
So I brought down the negative 16y to the third. I multiplied what I chose on top with what's in front to get negative 16y to the third as well. Subtract them. Anything minus itself is 0. Bring down.
I don't get why we're up there.
Bring down, start over. What times 4y is 20y squared?
5.
4y times 5y is 20y squared.
I'm gonna punch myself.
Subtract these. Is there anything else to bring down? Nope, there's your remainder. So your answer to this polynomial divided by 4y is 3y to the third minus 4y squared plus 5y.
On our homework.
The setup is still the same. The questions you ask yourself are also still the same, only we're only going to focus our effort on the first term. So what times x gives x squared? X. You're still taking this number you chose and multiplying it to what's in front. Here's the trick, though, is that this is a binomial, so you better multiply it to each of these. You better distribute this, if you want to think of it like that, this number you chose to each of these two. So x times x is x squared. What's x times 3? 3x. We're still taking this number in front and deciding what times x is the first term. That's an x. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. We're still subtracting. We're still doing exactly what we did before. We're still subtracting. Now, but this time the subtraction is going to be slightly different. Well, it's different in the fact that now we have two things we have to subtract. What's x squared minus x squared? Still 0. That's good. We're still getting rid of that. What's x minus 3x?
Negative 3x.
Negative 2x's. 1x minus 3x's is negative 2x's. Okay, what do we do next? Just a second, Kennedy. I'm anticipating answering your question by what we do next from the subtraction. Then we brought down. Then we repeated. We said what times x is negative 2x on negative 2. So we multiply negative 2 by each of these. What's negative 2 times x? What's negative 2 times 3? And subtract. What's anything minus itself? What's anything minus itself? Is there anything else to bring down? Okay, so we're done. I wrote this because this is the remainder. Whatever's over here is the remainder. Because it's the last thing. Okay, let's power through. Let's try one more time. I'll do with a new example.
Me?
Okay, a minus 1, a squared plus 3a minus 4. Focus on the first term. What times this gives the first group, the first term here?
A.
So we write an a above. Multiply this a to each of these two. What's a times a? What's a times negative 1? And subtract them.
Wait.
So what's a squared minus a squared?
0.
What's 3 minus negative 1?
Why do you incorporate the 3?
Because I can't subtract these two. They're not like terms. I have to find the like terms. Again, we've always been subtracting in columns, vertically. So we're subtracting above by below. Above by below. What's 3 minus negative 1? What's 3 minus negative 1? You need to know how to subtract negatives. 3 minus negative 1.
Oh, negative 4.
Positive 4. Minus a negative. 3 minus negative 1.
Positive 4?
Positive 4. 3 minus negative 1. Minus a negative. Plus a positive. That's 4. And an A. Bring it down. Minus 4. So what times the first group gives now our new leading term. What times A is 4A? We write a positive 4 on top. What's positive 4 times each of these? And what's 4 times negative 1? Subtract. 0, 0, you have a remainder of 0.